Once again, the number is 262-574-7000. Call R&R Insurance. Ask for Jeff from the radio. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Do you know how much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Or will the government take a bigger chunk than you thought? Remember, you might still owe taxes on that money. I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates, and I believe it's your money and you deserve to know what's at stake. At Drake & Associates, we believe you deserve to keep more of what you earned. That's why we're here to help you navigate the confusing world of retirement taxes. We'd like to offer you our free Retirement Ready Toolkit. Right now, taxes are historically low, but they won't be this low forever. So text TAX to 414-409-9982 today to get your complimentary toolkit. That's TAX to 414-409-9982. You work hard for your money, and we'll work hard for you.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, December 30th. Your top story, the legacy of Jimmy Carter living on in Milwaukee.
I'm Jessica Ty. Gun violence in Milwaukee leaves a teenager dead.
Mixture of sun and clouds today. Mild temperatures continue with a high of 44. Slight chance of a wintry mix south of 94 tonight and a low of 33. Cloudy, chance of rain and maybe some flurries to the south on Tuesday with a high of 40. 38 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 11:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, a memorial is growing outside the Carter Center in Atlanta in honor of America's 39th president, Jimmy Carter, who died Sunday at the age of 100.
He is survived by his 4 children. He's got 11 grandchildren, 14 great-grandchildren. Our time here at the Carter Center, we've been speaking with so many members who say just because he has passed doesn't mean that his legacy and his mission has passed. There's well over 3,000 employees here at the Carter Center, and they will continue his mission every day.
More than 500 Milwaukee homes owe their existence to Jimmy Carter.
Workers pause to pose for pictures with Jimmy Carter. A crowd gathers on the sidewalk to see the former president.
That was in 1989 when President Carter and his wife Rosalind helped build 6 homes in 5 days at 23rd and Walnut. It was part of the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Work Project with Habitat for Humanity.
I think this is the first time that a Habitat project has been successfully completed in 5 days, where it rained on every one of those 5 days.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Carter's state funeral is set for January 9th in Washington, D.C. Flags will fly at half-staff for 30 days to honor the late president.
A 14-year-old is dead after a shooting Saturday near 21st at Concordia on Milwaukee's north side. An 18-year-old is in custody connected to that shooting. Charges are pending. The death is Milwaukee's 151st recorded homicide of 2024.
A New Year's Eve practice in Milwaukee leads to a stern warning from police.
It's a sound all too familiar for many in Milwaukee around midnight New Year's Eve. So-called celebratory gunfire, which Assistant Police Chief Nicole Waldner says has the potential to injure or kill.
It is unknown to us if shots are being fired into the air or if an active shooter incident is taking place. The discharge of a firearm has the potential to injure or take someone's life.
The issue isn't a new one in the city, with at least 83 recorded incidents at the start of 2024.
Discharging a firearm in public, even in celebration, is illegal.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A federal appeals court has upheld a jury's award of $5 million against President-elect Donald Trump in a civil case where E. Jean Carroll claims he sexually assaulted her in a New York department store in the early 90s. Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor.
There are other cases that Donald Trump still faces regarding this, namely defamation, where there was over an $80 million judgment by a jury.
The second award relates to Trump's continuing to disparage Carroll after the original lawsuit was brought. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow, believe it or not, is fighting back. It was down about 650 points a couple of hours ago. Now down about 335 points at 42,657. NASDAQ off today about 170 points at 19,550. S&P 500 lagging about 50 points today. A lot of red at 59.23. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
We're going to beat the Bears on Sunday, right? We're going to beat the Bears. We're looking ahead. Coming up, sports, traffic, and weather next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:04.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
When you say Hasselus Mattress is employee-free, you don't really mean it, right?
Of course we mean it. At Hasselus, give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Why no employees?
To save you money.
How much money?
Well, others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove B Queen mattress for $1,650, but the everyday Hasselus price is just $842. We have way low pricing on Certa Perfect Sleeper and Sealy Posturepedic, too.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Plus, through Monday, purchase a select Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or Certa Perfect Sleeper in any size, and Hasselus will give you a free adjustable base.
That's even better.
Free next day delivery, free removal and setup of your new mattress, and free financing is available too.
And this is all because your showrooms are employee-free?
Yes, sir.
I like the way you do business.
Open 9 to 9. Get all the details and find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com. Hasselus, employee-free since 2014.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Matt LaFleur's Packers fall to the number 7 seed in the NFC playoff picture following Sunday's loss to the Vikings and Washington's overtime win over Atlanta.
I got to be better, and we got to get better, and we got to learn from this and try to move on and get some momentum here. Got the Bears coming in and try to finish this thing out the right way.
Packers wrap up the regular season Sunday afternoon against Chicago at Lambeau Field. The top seed in the NFC will be determined Sunday night when the Lions take on the Vikings in Detroit. And the Bucks wrap up the calendar year Tuesday afternoon basketball in Indiana against the Pacers. Giannis has missed the last 4 games due to illness.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. You can tell it is a Monday of a holiday week. We don't have a lot going on out there, and that's some good news for you. The only thing we have, the only incident, it's a disabled vehicle. 4194 North, a little bit beyond the ramp from Ryan Road. Right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down.
Well, steady decline in temperatures throughout the week. We begin mild today. Sun and clouds, a high of 44 degrees, low of 33 tonight. Back into the low 40s on Tuesday. Slight chance of a wintry mix, some rain and flurries perhaps. That'll be mainly south. Wednesday, a high of just 30. Thursday's high at 29. Friday's high at 24 under sunny skies. 40 degrees and sunny. Nice day here in Milwaukee at 11:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Well, it's been a minute. Welcome back, everybody.
The pack is back.
Well, something
if by pack,
like that.
I mean us.
Well, yes, our pack is back. Yeah, so it's some time off for the holidays, as you might expect. I was battling something. Here's what happens. Your kids come home with a cold, and then somehow you end up with malaria, and you're knocked out for like 3 days.
And then you bring malaria to your coworker over here.
I don't know what happens here, but yes, I'm on the back end. It seems like everybody's on the back end of something. Hopefully you're through it, but yeah, it was kind of a challenging couple of days around Christmas. We were hosting Christmas Eve, so a lot to get ready for. was definitely under the weather through the bulk of the holidays, but on the back end of it now, thankfully.
Yeah, and we talked about it late last week with Dr. Weston. I mean, it was going through a lot of families. And also, we talked about it with Eric Name, the Bucks, too, sweeping through the locker room.
Very good point. Yeah, I just mentioned Giannis has missed 4 straight games. Of course, he has kids at home, and it just kind of happens, right, around this time of year. So hopefully he is back. Hopefully you are back as we look ahead to 2025. Some big stories we are covering today as we work to round out 2024.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, remembering former President Jimmy Carter. The state funeral for the 39th President of the United States will be next Thursday, January 9th, at Washington National Cathedral. Here at home and at embassies all around the world, American flags will fly at half-staff for a month in memory of Carter. Public remembrances will also be held in Carter's home state of Georgia. That's where Carter will be buried alongside his wife of 77 years. Today, Americans are remembering the service and legacy the former president leaves behind. ABC's presidential historian Mark Updegrove explains what Carter told him he wanted to be remembered by.
He said that many people will remember me as a one-term president, but it's really the work that I did, he said, at the Carter Center, his nonprofit that he launched in his post-presidency that he wanted to be remembered for.
Carter died Sunday at his home in Plains, Georgia. He was 100 years old. And stay with us. Coming up at 11:35, we'll dive into his legacy with Habitat for Humanity and his work right here in Milwaukee.
Number 2, 2 crew members are the only survivors after an airplane carrying 181 people landed on its belly, skidding off the runway and bursting into flames in South Korea. The video is horrifying. The deadliest aviation disaster in South Korea since 1997. Local officials, aviation experts saying some sort of landing gear malfunction was likely as the plane skidded without its landing gear across the runway. The United States is sending a team of investigators to examine the wreckage. ABC's James Longman is at the foreign desk in London, and ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is also covering the story.
2 crew members, a man in his 20s and a woman in her 30s, were pulled from the wreckage alive. Both are being treated for injuries and their conditions are considered non-life-threatening. It comes as the cause of the crash is under investigation. South Korean officials say air traffic control warned the pilots of a possible bird strike. Moments later, the pilots issued a mayday call.
So according to FlightAware, the plane is listed as a Boeing 737-800. And it was traveling from Bangkok, Thailand to Muan International Airport on Jeju Air, which is kind of a Spirit Airlines of Korea, if you will, or over in that part of the world, sort of a discount airline, for lack of a better term. But still plenty of investigation going into just exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, that video is just
horrifying.
Unbelievable. I saw it just on social media right away, and I was checking in with my husband. I said, look at this, because he flies these airplanes and he trains other pilots on them as well. And he thinks it has something to do with the hydraulic system, but we'll see. But yeah, very scary. Number 3, another high-profile burglary. The latest pro athlete to be targeted by burglars is the standout guard of the Dallas Mavericks. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
Luka Doncic was with his team on a 4-day West Coast road trip when thieves broke into his home here in Dallas and stole $30,000 worth of jewelry. He becomes the latest NBA star to have his home burglarized behind players for the Milwaukee Bucks and Minnesota Timberwolves. The burglary adds insult to a literal injury for Doncic, who's currently out with a strained calf.
The burglary at the home of Milwaukee Bucks star Bobby Portis, that was back in November. And remember, we were like, really? Is this going to be a thing? Is this really going to be a string? And then now here we go. Here's another one and another one and another one. The Bucks were playing a game here at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers when the thieves broke into Portis' home. Portis said many of his prized possessions were taken.
Yeah, so your mind starts to go in different spots here, right? Initially, I thought copycat crimes, right? Somebody thinking, oh, this makes sense. Criminals want to do bad things, they'll do bad things and target you when you are not around. But it also appears as if there's some level of organization to this. How deep that goes, it's really unclear where it originated from. Not 100% locked in, but it's a growing trend here, unfortunately. You got the money, Luka does, arm your house, right? The Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for the Dolphins, said, if you want to come to my house, good luck. We've got armed guards walking around. We've got people on standby. You'd best be advised not to come near my home.
Yeah, frustrating for these guys, though, for sure.
11:13 on WTMJ. More on the life and legacy of Jimmy Carter throughout the program and the return of something that you didn't know you needed, and maybe you don't. It's not been around since the 80s when it was first introduced. It's coming back. We'll explain after this.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks on demand in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. Greg Matzik here. It's Gruber Law Offices. You make a call to Gruber if you've been hurt in an accident. They focus on the legal aspect. You focus on healing. And there's no fee, no cost to call, consult, or retain the firm. Never a fee at Gruber until they win your case. And as one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest, it's what they do. It's what they've been doing for 40 years and giving back to the community, all very important to the folks at Gruber. They are locally known but nationally recognized in making a difference and helping you and others in the community for nearly 4 decades. Visit gruber-law.com. Make the phone call if you need. If you've been hurt in an accident, it's 414-276-6666.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why, through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now, the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
Sick of being bullied by your bank with surprise fees, getting stuck on hold, and bankers who don't get you? Wintrust takes a different approach. Whether you need banking solutions, a new home, or help planning your financial future, Wintrust has local experts ready to lend a hand. Stop banking the same way and expecting different results, and start banking where you matter at wintrust.com/nobully. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Oh, pretty nice day today. Mild temperatures, a high of 44 degrees. Plenty of sun. Some clouds will mix in, but overall very nice. Overnight low of 33 degrees. Chance for a little bit of a wintry mix tomorrow. That'd be mainly south with a high of 40. Temperatures do drop off into the mid-30s or so on Wednesday, and then we're looking at maybe upper 20s, barely scratching. 30 degrees on Thursday. Friday's high just 24. So we are getting cooler here throughout the week. But mild today, right now, 40 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:17. I was so excited. I was so excited to sit on the couch yesterday, right? The day was done. We got through soccer practice and kind of running some errands, getting the house back in order after the holidays and being on the road and all that kind of stuff, putting gifts away. We settle in on the couch. We're going to watch football together at the family. The girls got their Packer shirts on. We're all excited.
The Packers are going to win.
And then they fumble on the first possession. And it's like a microcosm of the day. It's like, well, all that, right? It was so frustrating watching yesterday.
Well, and I'm always one of those people that I'm always like, there's time. Oh, there's time. Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We got this. We're going to get there. But there was one point where I started making my homemade hot sauce.
Yeah, right.
Because I had meant to make it like days ago, and the peppers were getting to that point where you got to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of tuning out on this one. But then the Packers did rally there at the end, and then I kind of felt bad for tuning out for a moment, but they just couldn't get it in the end.
Yeah, so this was about the point where you may have started to make your hot sauce or, I don't know, return some Christmas gift, maybe order some pants.
Get the play off. It's Darnold. Gets it to Akers on a screen. Akers inside the 5. Akers scores! Touchdown, Vikings!
Yeah, Fox Sports with the call there, 27-10 at that point. So you're thinking to yourself, it's the second half, the Packers have run out of time. And then, boom, 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 15 unanswered points later, and you're like, well, wait a minute now. All you need is like a third down stop, and you're going to get the ball back with a chance to maybe win this game.
Right, we had a chance.
It feels like fool's gold to me in that fourth quarter, right? It's like, oh, where was all that stuff? Where was all the good stuff in the earlier part of the game? 27-25, the Packers end up falling. So here's the good news. The Packers are still in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that is the good news.
Already clinched that before this game.
That is the good news, and the Bears come to Lambeau Field on Sunday, and if you're looking for a way to get right, playing the Bears is a pretty good opportunity to get right. The bad news is the Packers have taken a little hit here in the playoff standings. So now they fall to the number 7 seed, which means if the playoffs started today, they'd have to go to Philadelphia and play the Eagles. Not exactly the opening round matchup you would like. Meanwhile, the Lions and Vikings are still fighting out for who's going to be the top seed. They play each other on Sunday. That'll be a game worth watching. But against the best teams, the teams ahead of them in the standings, the Packers are 0-5. Like, that's the part where you start to feel a little flat.
That hurts a little bit. Yeah.
Like, they're okay. They're pretty good. But you got to be better than good if you want to knock off these teams.
How about this? I'm going to bring us up for a moment. I don't even know. I don't even follow this guy. Do you follow him, Peter Schrager?
Yes, I know Peter. He does great work for the NFL Network.
NFL Network. Okay. So I don't really know Peter myself, but I'm all about Peter right now. All about Peter today because I'm surfing social media last night, and he's doing his Super Bowl predictions. Well, I'm learning all this stuff about Peter Schrager. He has, for the last, 5 Super Bowls, he has picked who's going to compete, the two teams, correctly the last 5 times. And he just did his prediction.
Oh, gosh.
For the 2025 Super Bowl. And yep, I'm bringing us up. Guess who he has? He has the Green Bay Packers against the Kansas City Chiefs.
When did he make this prediction? This was recent.
Yeah,
was it before yesterday's game or after?
I saw it after yesterday's game. I think I saw it last night. So I don't know exactly when he did it. But the bottom line is, I'm going with that. I'm like, yes, thank you, Peter. I love that pick. And hey, and against the Chiefs, that would be a blast of a game, too. And then you could have Taylor Swift there, assuming that all stays good up until that time. And then you have all the Swiftie fans from Wisconsin as well, the Cheeseheads, the Swifties.
And us maybe doing the show from New Orleans.
Oh, gosh.
For goodness sake.
There you go.
Right?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Well, let's manifest this into being a thing. Can we
Let's
still
do
use
it.
that word in 2024, Gina? Right? It was a word of the year.
It's going to be our personal word of this year.
Personal word of the year. I get all my social cues from Gina. Yes, so the Packers have another chance here against the Bears on Sunday. If they win that game, they could move up to the number 6 seed, but they're going to need Washington to lose to Dallas. Dallas, of course, coached by Mike McCarthy. So maybe the old coach would do his team a solid, knock off Washington. The Packers get a win. They move up to that number 6 spot. That's a more desirable path, but it really no difference. Like, you got to play the best teams and beat them if you want to reach the ultimate goal.
Yeah, this is that weird time of the year, too, when you can be a fan of a certain team and not like another team, and all of a sudden you're rooting for this team that you don't normally because you want this to happen with your team, and it gets kind of messy.
It does get a little clouded. Yes, it does, no doubt. But 1 week left in the regular season. What about the weather in Green Bay on Sunday? Might it be a bit of a snow event? We know temperatures are dropping a little bit here throughout the week. We'll check in with Tyler Moore, Storm Team 4 meteorologist, coming up after this.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
I got to be honest, I was watching the game yesterday with the family, and we had a little flickering going on with our TV. So what has happened here is one of the HDMI ports, that's a technical term for how to get audio and video from your streaming service or whatever you're hooked up to your TV. Yeah, it's kind of on the fritz. Not good. TV's not that old. I know Flanners would help us out in a pinch. Flanners Home Entertainment, the place to go to upgrade your system at home. Might be a new TV, might be speakers, it might be just the right cables to get your stuff hooked up properly. Whatever the case, big or small, you can always count and trust on locally owned Flanners Home Entertainment. Their showroom is beautiful in West Dallas, Sammons and Grafton, and of course the online shopping at Flanners.com. It is sound advice at the best price. Let the best in the business with solutions and installation experts ready to work for you to help simplify and upgrade your system. Locally owned Flanners, doing it right for decades here in Southeast Wisconsin. Flanners, sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Well, mild temperatures continue today. Looks like they'll continue tomorrow. Does also appear as if temperatures going to drop off a little here. The snow is gone. When will it return? What about that forecast for Lambeau on Sunday? It's welcome in TMJ4 Storm Team 4 meteorologist. It's Tyler Moore. Hi, Tyler.
Hey guys, good morning.
Yeah, kind of.
weekend.
It feels kind of like March right now. And no sledding in the Matzik household this weekend. That was not an option.
Oh no, I mean Saturday when that sun came out, it was beautiful. And even today, right now, the light winds, temperatures in the 40s, and sunshine. You can't ask for much better in December.
That is fantastic. We do like that. But as I'm looking ahead to tonight and tomorrow, I'm seeing a mix in the forecast. How significant is that? Is everybody going to see some or no?
Yeah, this really isn't a big system or really a big threat for most. It looks like it's going to pass mainly down to our south, so the center of the low will actually track across central Illinois late tonight into tomorrow morning. That keeps most of the moisture and lift down to our south, so really look at the chance for maybe a couple flurries, maybe some light snow showers, maybe a couple raindrops mixing in. And the best chance for that is really going to be south of 94 and closer towards the state line. So it's really for our friends down to the south, but some of it might nudge into southern Wisconsin as well. So we'll have to see what moisture activity can get towards our area. But for the most part, no accumulations, no issues on the roadways, maybe just a few flurries or raindrops mixing in with a gloomier day for tomorrow compared to today.
Okay, well, that's good. And Wednesday is New Year's. So you've got January 1st. Yeah. I'm kind of curious about two temperatures. One, the temperature outside, the air temperature, and then two, the temperature of Lake Michigan for all those people who are going to jump on in.
Yeah, Lake Michigan's getting chilly now this time of year. Upper 30s, close to 40 for that water temperature. Not awful, I guess, compared to what it could be this time of year. But it is running a little warmer than average, so maybe not bath water, but at least a little bit better than the normal if you are planning on jumping in. Air temperature doesn't look bad. If you're out around midnight for New Year's Eve into New Year's morning, or New Year morning, we're going to be looking at temperatures upper 20s, right around 30s. So that's not too bad either. I know it's been some cold years before for New Year's. This one doesn't look too bad. But Wednesday, we'll start to see those temperatures drop. And I'll have to tell you guys, this is a pattern that looks pretty cold for the first half of January. At least the first 2 weeks of January look very cold. Below average temperatures, no warm-ups, and a lot of chilly air spilling out of Canada.
Well, we'll see you over at Lake Michigan. You have to go first, Tyler. We'll get some video. You go first.
Have you done
you
the
mind.
polar bear plunge?
I have not. I want to, though. I haven't done it since I've come home. So, I have to go out and measure the water temperature for everyone before everyone jumps in, I guess is how it has to be done, right?
Fair enough. Hey, looking ahead to Lambeau on Sunday. I know it's a little bit out, but what are we looking at for Lambeau on Sunday as the Packers wind up the regular season? Last home game.
Yeah, I'm actually heading out to the game, so I'm hoping for some good weather. I do see the chance for snow potentially Sunday night into Monday with a system passing through the region. I know it is far out, so the exact track is really uncertain, but there could be a system in the region around that time frame that could bring some light snow activity because temperatures will be cold enough. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Obviously, the game's a noon kickoff, so if the snow comes Sunday night to Monday, it might miss the game time, but temperatures will probably be in the 20s. We're looking at those snow chances coming in later in the day and into Monday, but we'll fine-tune that later in this week, and we'll get back to you on Friday.
Sounds good, Tyler. Appreciate it, man. Good to connect. Talk to you soon.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
You bet. It's 11:28 on WTMJ. News coming up.
Do you know how much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Or will the government take a bigger chunk than you thought? Remember, you might still owe taxes on that money. I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates, and I believe it's your money and you deserve to know what's at stake. At Drake & Associates, we believe you deserve to keep more of what you earned. That's why we're here to help you navigate the confusing world of retirement taxes. We'd like to offer you our free Retirement Ready Toolkit. Right now, taxes are historically low, but they won't be this low forever. So text TAX to 414-409-9982 today to get your complimentary toolkit. That's TAX to 414-409-9982. You work hard for your money, and we'll work hard for you.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, December 30th. Your top story, a late president's lasting legacy of giving.
I'm Jessica Ty. A tech scam spreading across Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Americans are remembering the service and legacy of former President Jimmy Carter after he died yesterday at 100. Presidential historian and ABC News contributor Mark Updegrove.
He spent 44 years of his 100 years as a former president, the longest post-presidency in American history. That's where he really made his mark as a humanitarian.
President Biden setting next Thursday, January 9th, as a national day of mourning. The New York Stock Exchange says it'll close that day. South Korean officials have recovered the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder from the Jeju Airlines flight that crashed, killing 179 people Sunday. No landing gear was down, no flaps down to slow the plane on landing. It slammed into a wall and exploded. President Biden announcing nearly $2.5 billion more military aid to Ukraine. Overall respiratory illness nationally, including flu, COVID, and RSV, is high, says the CDC. This is ABC News.
Sonic Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 11:31. Late President Jimmy Carter's legacy lives on in Milwaukee at 23rd and Walnut, where he and his wife Rosalind helped build 6 homes in 5 days back in 1989.
You work side by side with poor people in need. You accomplish something that you can look at and see, and you have a feeling that you are also publicizing the worldwide plight of the homeless.
Since 1984, Habitat for Humanity has rallied tens of thousands of volunteers to build affordable housing across the world, including over 500 homes in Milwaukee. Carter's state funeral is scheduled for January 9th in Washington, D.C. Flags will fly half-staff for 30 days to honor the late president.
A hit and run in Waukesha leaves a pedestrian in critical condition. A 63-year-old man was hit Saturday evening near White Rock and Hartwell. Waukesha police later arrested a 57-year-old woman from the city of Waukesha. Police say operating while intoxicated was likely a factor.
A scam text message is circulating across Milwaukee's cell phone.
The phony text tells the recipient they have an overdue parking ticket and to click to avoid a late fee. Anyone clicking on the link could be opening their phone and data to either malware or ransomware. Alderman Lamont Westmoreland says the scam is likely hitting thousands of phones across the city. The alderman advises anyone who has provided their debit or credit card info to contact their financial institution immediately. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Are you making a New Year's resolution? If so, you're not alone.
New
year, new you. That's the resolution most of us make when the clock strikes midnight. About a quarter of adults say they'll eat healthier, exercise more, and lose weight in 2025. But according to Forbes, studies show while almost half of us make those sort of resolutions every year, only 9% successfully keep them. About 23% fail within the first week, 36% in the first month, and a majority give up by the middle of February. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Hey, no better time than the present to get started with your New Year's resolution. How about ringing in the new year with a little downward dog?
If you're ready to flow into the new year, Milwaukee Recreation has a free opportunity on Wednesday. The 7th Annual Yoga Fest at the Beulah Brinton Community Center offers 3 free classes, including family and gentle yoga. Pre-registration is required. Or if getting outdoors is part of your goal, you can kick off the 125th anniversary of the Wisconsin State Park System with a first-day hike at Mirror Lake State Park. Wednesday's celebration begins at 11 a.m. with a bonfire and refreshments, followed by a 1.5-mile guided hike. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
No goats? No goat yoga? Have you ever done goat yoga? You do goat yoga? You will never do any other kind of yoga.
When I think about goats, I just think about all those goats we were talking about munching the land and the kids were watching.
Oh, yes. You could have done yoga and they would have walked on your back. Fun.
Sports, traffic, and weather next. Signing a limited WTMJ News time is 11:34.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Well, Matt LaFleur's Packers now the number 7 seed in the NFC playoff picture following Sunday's loss to the Vikings and Washington's win over Atlanta.
I got to be better, and we got to get better, and we got to learn from this and try to move on and get some momentum here. You got the Bears coming in and try to finish this thing out the right way.
Yeah, Packers wrap up the regular season Sunday afternoon at home against the Bears. The top seed in the NFC will be determined Sunday night when the Lions take on the Vikings in Detroit. And the Bucs are getting up some shots here during the late morning hour. They'll head off to Indianapolis later today for a New Year's Eve tilt with the Pacers. Afternoon basketball for the Bucs on Tuesday. Giannis, hopeful to travel with the team. He's missed the last 4 games due to illness.
Get an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We're doing really well. No big crashes to let you know about in our area. 4194 north, however, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Ryan Road. Right shoulder is blocked because of a car that's broken down, but that happened early this morning and traffic is moving along just fine right by it.
Mixture of sun and clouds today, a high of 44 degrees. Very nice day, mild temperatures. Cloudy tonight and a low of 33. Clouds return on Tuesday. Slight chance of some rain, maybe some snow flurries mixing into the south. A high of 40 degrees. We drop off midweek. Wednesday's high just 30 degrees. Thursday, a high of 29. Friday, mostly sunny and a high of 24. 40 degrees and mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 11:38. He was the 39th president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, passing away yesterday at the age of 100 years old. He served the country back in the 40s as a member of the United States Naval Academy, then as the 39th president, bridging the gap from the 70s to the 80s at a time where inflation was a little out of control, interest rates double digits on homes. So it was a challenging time for Jimmy Carter to take over. His legacy, both as president and post-president, certainly profound as we welcome in ABC's Jim Ryan. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. You're right. Yeah, he was, sometimes people forget that he grew up in very humble surroundings. His family had this peanut farm. He took over the family business, went to the Naval Academy, the first future president to graduate from the U.S. Naval Academy, became a nuclear engineer in the Navy, and then decided to try his hand at politics. Ran first for local office there in Plains, Georgia, then statewide office, becoming governor, and then, against the wishes of a lot of Democrats at the time, decided to run for president. Challenged Lloyd Bentsen during the nomination, and eventually won, and of course won the White House. But you're right; it was a tough time, Greg, to be president with inflation where it was, with gas prices through the roof. Then later, of course, when students took over the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and held hostages right until the end of Carter's presidency. Tough time to be a president.
Jim, in the summer of 1989, Jimmy Carter and his wife came here to Milwaukee to spearhead this week-long Habitat for Humanity build project. It was at 23rd and Walnut. They built 6 new homes. They rehabbed about 8 others. What is Jimmy Carter's legacy overall with Habitat for Humanity?
Oh, he and Rosalind became the face of Habitat. Some people, in fact, I was just talking with some folks who thought that they had founded it. Well, no, it had already been up and running for some time. He and Rosalind went to an apartment building in Atlanta somewhere. They were rehabbing that building, and Carter asked, "What can I do?" And he'd already been out of office for some time. They said, "We need people," and so he and Rosalind gathered up 100 of their closest friends. They went out there and rehabbed this whole apartment complex, and something moved in Carter, and he decided that he liked it. So he and Rosalind traveled all over the country, around the world, building houses with Habitat for Humanity. I got to be around the two of them as they were at some of the job sites doing this, and there was this earnestness about it. They didn't just lend their name to the project or give money. They actually went out with tool belts on and hard hats and pounded nails.
Well, you were certainly on the front line of human rights, and to earn a Nobel Peace Prize some 20 years after your presidency shows that life after presidency, it was certainly impactful here for Jimmy Carter and the country.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And if you look back, I think the lasting image, one of them from his presidency, is from Camp David, when he's standing there and Anwar Sadat on one side, Menachem Begin on the other, and Carter had helped to. It was almost a lost cause, peace between Egypt and Israel, but at Carter's insistence, the two stayed there at Camp David. They finally worked out this agreement, and there it was. So, yeah, I think that certainly will be one of the lasting images, or the positive events during his presidency.
Leaders around the world are now honoring him, and as we look ahead to his funeral, we know former presidents will be there as well. What was Jimmy Carter's relationship with his modern successors?
He had a good relationship with them. George W. Bush and Laura Bush, I think, used his philanthropy as kind of their own blueprint to take on activist causes around the world. That's what they've been doing. He's a close friend of Joe Biden, sort of a mentor to Biden, who himself, is no kid anymore. But he did have a relationship with all of them. I think that, and to see them when they dedicated the George W. Bush Center in Dallas, and Carter was there, and Clinton and Obama, they were all there, and there was clearly this friendship among them. They're in a very exclusive fraternity. Now, Jessica, it's a fraternity that's lost one of its members.
Carter's funeral services will be held at Washington National Cathedral on January 9th. The state funeral will cap more than a week full of remembrances. Jimmy Carter, dead at the age of 100. Jim Ryan, we appreciate your time, Jim. Have a great New Year. If we don't talk to you before then, we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one. Thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
See you.
And Jimmy Carter wasn't the only significant death this year. Here's a look back at the other people we lost in 2024.
We lost some big actors, from Oscar and Emmy winner Maggie Smith.
Silence begins now.
To Beverly Hills 90210's Shannon Doherty, who lost her battle with cancer. Theatrical legend Cheetah Rivera died at 91.
I like to be in my bed.
Fellow Tony winner James Earl Jones at 93.
I am your father.
Richard Lewis, Bob Newhart, Donald Sutherland, and Mitzi Gaynor, too. In music, gospel singer and mother to Whitney, Cissy Houston died, as did producer and 80-time Grammy nominee Quincy Jones. Country singer Toby Keith at 62 from stomach cancer.
Red Solo Cup.
Founding member of the Jackson 5, Tito Jackson. And One Direction's Liam Payne. From talk show host Phil Donahue.
When I talk about sex.
To sex therapist Dr. Ruth. From game show host Chuck Woolry to fitness coach Richard Simmons.
The Pied Piper of Health.
Baseball's Willie Mays and Pete Rose died. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. And CBS's own Charles Osgood.
I'll see you on the radio.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time AccuNet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick AccuNet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Happy New Year. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here to tell you about Built-Right's New Year's mattress sale going on now. Their one location saves you time and money, and they make it easy to shop and easy to buy. Built-Right beats any big box, national or local chain store, department store, employee-free store, online retailer, or warehouse club because they have the guaranteed lowest prices. Built-Right also has the best value, selection, and experience team in Wisconsin. Over 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best mattress brands made in the USA: Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built-Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, and two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses that hold up to 600 pounds. Plus, Built-Right offers free delivery and removal on mattress-only purchases of $7.99 or more. Built-Right saves you money. Voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Special hours New Year's Day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Make sure to tell them Vinny sent you to Built-Right, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richlands Tire and Service Centers.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Mild temperatures today, a high of 44 degrees, plenty of sun as well. Tonight's overnight low, 33, back up to 40 tomorrow. Slight chance of some rain, maybe mixing in with some snow flurries, mainly to the south, but nothing significant in terms of accumulation. 30 degrees, your high on Wednesday, 29 the high on Thursday, and just 24 and sunny on Friday. It's 41 degrees and mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 11:47. All right, so it's coming back. You didn't know you needed this, and maybe you don't.
I don't think we do.
The soda brand that gained attention in the 1980s for offering, quote, all the sugar and twice the caffeine is heading back to stores in 2025.
Tastes like Coke.
It tastes like Pepsi.
Tastes like a diet soda.
Tastes different.
What they're tasting is a new cola called Jolt. Jolt boldly proclaims that it contains all the sugar and twice the caffeine.
All the sugar and twice the caffeine. Great. Great stuff, Harv. It's the caffeine. This is wonderful.
All right, so that was out of a news story in 1986 when Jolt Cola hit the shelves. And the idea was it wasn't going to steal a lot of share from Pepsi or Coca-Cola. Even 1%, you're talking about millions of dollars, right? If you could bleed in just a little bit.
Sure.
But it was certainly different. And it was headline grabbing because it very much pushed the limits on what a soda could be, with caffeine and sugar through the roof.
Well, and some parents banned it. They said, no, for their kids, you can't have it. You can't have Jolt.
We did not have Jolt in our household. I think we ended up caving our parents on Surge, which was like the Mountain Dew version of that.
Yes,
the Psycho Nitro drink in a can or whatever the heck it labeled itself as. This goes back to 1979, the idea for Jolt Cola. It took them 5 years to bring it to market, and they did. The idea, grab a small market share of consumers who typically buy Pepsi or Cola. Here's what one of the executives had to say about who their target customer was.
Well, our demographics show that there's three main areas. There's the yuppie area that'll buy it because it's something new and trendy. Then there's the hardcore flavor drinkers, the people who are missing. You know, they won't quit smoking, they won't quit drinking, and anything that's supposed to be bad for you is good for them. They'll do it. And then the children, because they think it's a little naughty and a little risque, so they're going to get interested in it too.
Oh, there you go. Marketing 101.
The children think it's risque, so that's what we're going for. Oh, wow.
Well, you think about it, you know, Pepsi and Coke, it didn't specifically cater to kids, but you throw a lightning bolt right in the middle of your logo, and all of a sudden kids perk up. It looks a little cartoonish, and there you go. It definitely had its space among the teens, and I would say even probably college students.
I was trying to think if I was just a little too young for it or if I decided not to do that, because every once in a while I would do a Mr. Pibb, and they had that Mr. Pibb Extra from time to time, and I go for a Mr. Pibb Extra. I don't know how many milligrams of caffeine were in it, but I shouldn't talk, though, because for so long I had an addiction to Mountain Dew. Okay. And I kicked that years ago, so that's good. But Mountain Dew has what? I think it's like 55 milligrams in a 12-ounce. When Jolt came out, it was, I think, 72 milligrams in 1985. But now they're talking about, like, boosting that.
Okay, so let's go through some of the numbers, because you're right. Jolt in the 1980s, and keep in mind, Jolt has been out of circulation for years. They tried to make a couple of different comebacks, and you may even ran into it at like a Dollar General store back in the day, but it was never long-lived, their rebrands. So now they're trying again. They're going to do something a little different. I'll get to that in a second. So Coca-Cola has 34 milligrams of caffeine, standard 12-ounce can, and 39 grams of sugar. It packs a punch. I think I'd bring up Coca-Cola. You kind of know your feeling after having a Coca-Cola. Well, Jolt in the 80s featured 72 milligrams of caffeine in that 12-ounce can and 50 grams of sugar. So there you go. More than double the amount of caffeine as a can of Coke and roughly 10 more grams of sugar. But today, Jolt is no longer interested in Coke or Pepsi. They're going after the saturated market of energy drinks, which is like a $50 billion business in 2024.
Yeah.
Like, you get dizzy if you go to a Quick Trip or a convenience store and look at the wall of drinks. Now you almost have to figure out which is not an energy drink.
Do you drink any of the energy drinks?
I occasionally have like a bubbler. It's sort of low on the totem pole in terms of, that'd be like a cup of coffee.
Because I don't think I have ever tried an energy drink.
I've definitely tried them. I definitely have tried them, right? Red Bull was popular when I was on the back end of college.
Okay, wait, Red Bull counts? Going back to the 90s? Yes. Okay, Red Bull, gosh, I don't even think of that as an energy drink. Yes, I have had a Red Bull, probably on spring break in Daytona Beach with something else that you shouldn't have. And a can, some canister you shouldn't have as well.
I'd like to hear more about that story.
That was a long time ago. I was a young kid.
But yeah, Red Bull was kind of the OG in this, right? You'd see Red Bull at, truck convenience stores, middle of Highway 21 going from La Crosse to Oshkosh.
And maybe
because
that's
truckers
why I
needed
haven't
to stay
tried
awake.
anything else, because I think it's terrible.
There was no
gross
English writing on the can. So let's go through some of this stuff. So Jolt is now taking aim at the energy world. A can of Red Bull, that 8.4-ounce can, right? 80 milligrams of caffeine, little more than a cup of coffee. A can of Monster in a 16-ounce can, the classic green, it's M on the black can, 160 milligrams of caffeine. So double a can of Red Bull. Granted, it's a larger size as well. Gatorade, Fast Twitch Energy, 200 milligrams of caffeine in that little 12-ounce bottle. The big dogs are Celsius and Rockstar. So Celsius is anywhere between 200 and 300 milligrams in that 12-ounce can. It does taste delicious.
Popular.
They're hugely popular. They taste great, right? But it packs a punch. You got to know what you're getting into. The can of Bubbler next to it, it's about 70 milligrams, so kind of a standard cup of coffee. So Jolt is entering this category with 200 milligrams of caffeine in a 16-ounce can. So it is at, I guess you could say, more of a standard can of Celsius. Celsius has an offshoot that goes up to 300 milligrams. Rockstar Endurance, if you really want to throw caution to the wind, 300 milligrams in a 16-ounce can. But this is kind of where they're at now with Jolt. They're going after a whole new market.
Well, and they also say that the brand may also launch pre-workout drinks and energy shots down the line. So This looks like it is just the beginning for what they're looking to do. We have a listener from the 262, one of our fans here, says back in the 80s and early 90s, Jolt was freely offered at many Microsoft tech conferences I attended. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Offered for free because they want to get you, right? You're like, oh, you try this for free, you like it, and then you want to buy it.
Isn't that crazy? So really, Jolt, and again, the sugar is a component here, and Jolt will have a sugar-free offering in the new lineup, but 50 grams of sugar, that's a lot of sugar. I mean, that's like a day's worth of sugar there in that 12-ounce can. But I remember thinking at the time, like, whoa, Jolt, caffeine, that's crazy. Well, it's less than a Red Bull and only slightly more than a cup of coffee. And now you have beverages that are 2, 3, even 4 times the amount of a standard cup of coffee, sold with regularity wherever you do your shopping.
I'm looking at the packaging on one of these here. It's a red can, and it's got the Jolt with the lightning bolt going through the O here. It looks, and it has that, just says energy on the side. It looks like something that's already been around and that's been there and that people would pick up. So the marketing seems very on par for 2024 and 2025.
Yeah, so the big change here is that Jolt is no longer a 12-ounce can or that 2-liter bottle of soda that you saw back in the 80s. It's now that 16-ounce sort of, classic energy drink style can. That is the market. That's who they're going after. And we'll see if it has a shelf life here. The previous rollouts, anywhere from 10 to 15 years ago, never really stuck. But there's still a potential opportunity for this to grow.
1980 soda coming back to shelves with more caffeine than ever.
Whether you needed it or not. It's 11:56. We'll call it here on WTMJ. News coming up.
Listen to Spanning the State.
We are less than a month out from an election where inflation, eggs, gas, the cost of things was a main motivator for how people voted. And yet we are spending in record numbers.
Inflation was the big thing. The prices are so high, people don't have money. If things are really that bad, we're not dropping $11 billion on Friday and $13 billion today and $6 billion the day before Thanksgiving.
From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. only on WTMJ.
Hey, Greg Matzik here for Flanner's Home Entertainment. If you've not been to one of their showrooms recently, boy, you're missing out. All the latest and greatest in terms of technology, plus the experts who will really help dial in what you need. You may not always need the biggest. You need something that fits your room. That's where Flanner's can really help you out. The right solutions. In fact, all the right stuff there for you. If you need the installation experts of Flanner's, they can help you with wiring up a rec room or something like that. Maybe you want to put some speakers in the walls or ceilings. They can help you with the big stuff. Maybe you just need the right cables or the right speaker for your outdoor dining. Whatever the case, Flanner's can help you with it. Big or small, they have the stuff. They've got the solutions. They've got the installation experts right there for you. Stop by the showroom in West Allis. It is gorgeous. You'll love it. I do. They have a great showroom in Grafton and also online shopping available for you at Flanners.com. It is Flanners. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Hey, don't forget, you can take us with you wherever you go. Listen at your leisure. Download some of your favorite episodes or interviews with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, and it's presented by Siding Unlimited. Check it out, download it, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Take us with you wherever you go. You can also follow us along online at WTMJ.com or through the WTMJ mobile app. The Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, presented by Siding Unlimited.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
If you could spend 1 month anywhere, where would you go?
Easy. I'd go to bed.
I mean anywhere in the world.
Precisely.
You'd spend the entire month in bed?
Specifically, a new Tempur-Pedic from Hasselus Mattress.
Why? Because
I can take 60 months to pay for it. Through Monday, get 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card.
60 months. That means...
You can buy a Queen Tempur-Pedic ProAdapt Hybrid with ease adjustable base for just $74 a month.
And I get a $300 MasterCard gift card.
Free next-day delivery and employee-free showrooms, too.
So I can try and buy...
With no pushy sales guy.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Searching for a travel agent to book a month-long vacation at Hasselus Mattress.
Enjoy 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedics through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, December 30th. Your top story, a period of mourning for a former U.S. president.
I'm Jessica Ty. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Counting down to a TikTok ban.
A mixture of sun and clouds today. Mild temperatures, a high of 44 degrees. Cloudy tonight and a low of 33. Cloudy on Tuesday. Slight chance of a mix of rain and snow flurries possible to the south, but a high of 40 degrees. 43 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:02 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom. Flags across the country will fly at half-staff for the next 30 days as the nation mourns the loss of President Jimmy Carter at the age of 100. CBS's Mark Strassman is in the former president's hometown of Plains, Georgia.
Back in September, I talked to one of his grandchildren, Jason Carter, and asked him about that legacy. He believes when history casts the final ballot, it'll be a vote for Jimmy Carter.
I think he has always looked
for a different judgment than the one that comes from politics. And I think that his faith and his beliefs about this country and the world make him happy with where he is.
Cannons are firing every half hour at the West Point Military Academy in a tribute to Carter, who was a former naval officer.
More than 500 Milwaukee homes owe their existence to Jimmy Carter.
Workers pause to pose for pictures with Jimmy Carter. A crowd gathers on the sidewalk to see the former president.
That was in 1989 when President Carter and his wife Rosalind helped build 6 homes in 5 days at 23rd and Walnut. It was part of the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Work Project with Habitat for Humanity.
I think this is the first time that a Habitat project has been successfully completed in 5 days, where it rained on every one of those 5 days.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Carter's state funeral is set for January 9th in Washington, D.C.
United States aviation officials will assist in the investigation into a deadly plane crash in South Korea. At least 179 are dead if the aircraft sped into a barrier and erupted into flames after landing on the runway. CBS's Max Darrow.
According to the airline, the plane was a 15-year-old Boeing 737 jet that was up to date on its maintenance, and there were no warning signs.
Teams from around the world, including Boeing, the FAA, are going to Korea right now to help assist with this investigation. One thing for sure, the reasons will be determined, and then we'll be able to put steps in place to help eliminate whatever risks occurred here, making air travel even safer in the future.
2 of the 181 people on board survived. The crash marks one of the deadliest disasters in South Korea's aviation history.
2 flight attendants who were sitting in the back of the plane were able to survive.
In less than 3 weeks, TikTok faces a ban here in the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is urging the Supreme Court to stop the ban. News Nation's Libby Dean has the latest.
Trump's lawyers filing an amicus brief with the Supreme Court. Trump asking the justices in that brief to delay so he can negotiate a resolution here that will allow the Supreme Court to actually stay out of this and not ultimately rule on the ban. Trump requesting that he negotiate this deal. And we're actually hearing from Trump's former chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, that it might be harder than Trump thinks to accomplish a negotiation on this potential ban.
In April, Congress passed a bipartisan law that established a 9-month deadline for TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance to either sell the app or be banned from U.S. app stores.
Well, Ford is recalling the electric version of the country's most popular vehicle.
The Lightning is Ford's all-electric take on the F-150 pickup truck, and now the company is recalling just under 12,000 of those EVs. The concern is that a control arm in the truck could detach and cause it to lose steering. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says dealers will fix the problem for free once owners are notified, which it says should happen by early February. The recall affects Lightnings made during the 2023 and 2024 model year. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow Jones currently down about 303 points. It's actually quite an improvement from where it was earlier this morning at 42,689. The NASDAQ off 138 points, trying to fight back here at 19,583. S&P 500 is off about 45 today at 59.29. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
The Packers wrap up the regular season on Sunday. We're looking ahead in just a minute. Sports, traffic, and weather right after this. Signing a limited WTMJ News Time is 12:06.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. Now that we're into the holiday season, it's time to celebrate with new lights and ceiling fans. And our huge award-winning showroom displays hundreds of the best quality lights and fans. There's not a brand we can't get, and our prices are the lowest, even lower than online. I guarantee it. And our knowledgeable staff is always here to assist you in making the right choices. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including antiques, collectibles, fun for the kids, and our famous free popcorn. We are open Monday through Saturday and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal. To do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Packers fall to the number 7 seed in the NFC playoff picture following Sunday's loss to the Vikings and Washington's win over Atlanta.
I got to be better, and we got to get better, and we got to learn from this and try to move on and get some momentum here. You got the Bears coming in and try to finish this thing out the right way.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. Green Bay wraps up the regular season Sunday afternoon against the Bears at Lambeau. And the Bucs wrap up the calendar year Tuesday afternoon in Indiana against the Pacers. Team will take off later this afternoon for Indianapolis. Giannis hopeful to travel. He's missed the last 4 games due to illness.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We have a crash that just popped up very close to State Fair Park. It's Wisconsin 181 South at 94 West. That's at O'Connor Street area. Right lane is blocked due to a crash. And I'm taking a look at the video right here, the cameras. I do see that police are on the scene right now. Looks like 2 cars are involved, but Milwaukee police already there. Looks like they're talking with somebody to try and figure out what exactly happened here. Can't tell the injuries. No ambulance there just yet. But the bottom line is we do have a new crash right over by Wisconsin State Fair Park. If you're headed that way, Wisconsin 181 South at 94 West. Right lane blocked due to this new crash.
Mild temperatures today, a high of 44 degrees, plenty of sun as well, overnight low of 33. Tomorrow we hit 40 again, slight chance of a wintry mix, mainly to the south, nothing significant, however. Wednesday's high 30 degrees, Thursday's high just 29, and Friday we're looking at a high of 24 degrees under sunny skies. 41 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Kind of a split week for us here. Greg and Jessica with you till 1 o'clock. We are back tomorrow, then we are off on Wednesday, back for the remainder of the week. I fit into this weird category, I feel, where
yes, you do.
I don't think New Year, just in general, I think that's an inaccurate term. I'm one of those people who don't really understand why we have New Year's Day off. I don't really understand why it's a holiday. I usually get a lot of flack for that. I mean, I'll take the day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not fighting against it.
You're just questioning the origin.
Well, what's the holiday? Like, what's the holiday component there?
It's the start of the new year. It's a rebirth.
Do we need that off, or is it just because people's New Year's plans maybe prevent them from waking up?
I don't know about you, but I'm going to say I need it off.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to take it.
No, to be honest, for many years I worked it, so
sure.
It's kind of weird for me not to have a show. So I'm not complaining.
If there's another day, and maybe our intelligent fans can maybe help us out. Is there another day you'd change or exchange for New Year's? Yes, I will gladly work New Year's Day if I could have this day off instead. Maybe people will flood our text line here.
I'd rather have a holiday that's on a Friday.
Yeah, that's the other weird part. It's just that kind of that strange Wednesday for New Year's.
It's just kind of like start, stop, start again. But for some people, they're just stopped all week. I mean, some people haven't gone to work for like a week and a half at this point, with Christmas on a Wednesday and New Year's on a Wednesday here.
Well, it is good to be back here for at least a portion of the week. Hope you're enjoying your Monday so far. It's 12:11 here on WTMJ.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
A warning today about celebratory gunfire.
The discharge of a firearm has the potential to injure or take someone's life.
The Milwaukee Police Department reminding gun owners not to fire their weapons into the air to celebrate the new year. The department posted the warning on social media. Assistant Police Chief Nicole Waldner says police have a duty to respond to shots fired no matter what.
When MPD responds, it is unknown to us if shots are being fired into the air or if an active shooter incident is taking place.
According to the Milwaukee Police Department, there were more than 80 shots fired reports when people rang in the new year last year. More than 80.
Wow.
It's not just a bad idea, it's against the law.
Well, preparations for a New Year's celebration in Times Square in high gear. Less than 24 hours to go until that area will be packed with visitors and partygoers looking for a bathroom, hoping to ring in 2025. Officials from the NYPD say they will be ready with an increased police presence to help manage the crowds. Here's Jessica Tisch, police commissioner.
At this time, there are no specific credible threats to the Times Square New Year's Eve celebration. However, we have been operating in a heightened threat environment since October 7th, and we remain vigilant.
That's interesting. October 7th. So you think about, 2.5 months ago, more than 2.5 months ago, they've had increased security presence in that area. Now they prepare for one of the biggest nights of the year, one of the most televised nights of the year, right there in Times Square.
Flags across the country will fly at half-staff for the next 30 days in honor of former President Jimmy Carter. Cannons are firing every half hour at the West Point Military Academy in a tribute to Carter, who was a former naval officer. Carter was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize for his diplomatic work after leaving office. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports top Democrats and Republicans are praising Carter and his life's work.
The work he did after his presidency and sort of how universal it was, the work with Habitat for Humanity, flying to different countries to ensure the freedom of American hostages, working to ensure that elections were held in fragile democracies around the world freely and openly. He was often an election observer with other international organizations. That's the kind of work that Democratic and Republican politicians generally agree with, right? And they also appreciate the fact that he lived such a humble and sort of, faith-based life.
Carter was the 39th president of the United States. He died at his home in Georgia at the age of 100. His state funeral is set for next Thursday, January 9th, at Washington National Cathedral.
12:14 on WTMJ. We'll check in with MMAC President Dale Koinga right after this.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Well, thank goodness for Palermo's Pizza. On the go here for the last week or so. You get back home, not a lot of food in the house. Thankfully, we did have some Palermo's Pizza in the freezer, and it was on the table. We were enjoying a great dinner here on Sunday. That's right, watching the game, having some Palermo's Pizza. It's what we did, and it's what we often do, as a matter of fact. Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's. Screamin' Sicilian, that was on the table last night. Primo, Thin, Connie's Urban Pie, all greats. Made by Palermo's. They got a slice for every appetite and are found wherever you like to do your shopping. So if you're at the store tonight, Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Sendik's, Piggly Wiggly, Woodman's, stop in the frozen food aisle. You'll find Palermo's brand of pizza. Pick a couple different ones up. Try them all. See what the family likes best. Make it a Palermo's night in your household. It's Palermo's, a Wisconsin favorite for 60 years and Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
Dale Koinge is the president of the MMAC, a recent and frequent guest here on Wisconsin's Midday News. How'd your Christmas go, Dale?
It was remarkable. How was yours?
It was nice. Jessica and I were just talking about that. We were kind of like working through all the different levels of sickness that we had, but thankfully we're on the back end of it.
Yeah, I don't think ours were remarkable, but I love that adjective that you use. Can you give us a little dive into your Christmas? What made it so remarkable?
Well, I'm one of four, and all my siblings all have anywhere between 2 and 4 kids. So there was about 25 people in our house that we hosted in Brookfield, and they came from all around the country. We're a military family, and so I have family all over the country. So Tennessee, Texas, Florida, and Illinois, and they all came here and it was a lot of kids, and we had the snow in our backyard, and our backyard has like a slope to it. So nice. It was just that iconic moment of Christmas tree up, Christmas music, great church service at our church, Brookfield Christian Reformed Church, and seeing the kids sled in the backyard. And everyone was healthy. So it was remarkable because a lot of things can go wrong when you have all the extended family together, and everything went right. So
that is so true.
It was a very blessed Christmas.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Well, that is good. So we're spending some time here on the program both today and tomorrow, looking back at some of the major wins here in the state of Wisconsin, and wanted to focus a little bit on areas a little south of here, specifically what Microsoft is doing, investing $3.3 billion between now and the end of 2026. They're expanding its data centers. One of the major wins here for the state of Wisconsin off the heels of the Foxconn project, which didn't really amount to be what we thought it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's ended up being a great win, and all things worked out. I mean, Microsoft would not be here if that huge investment in infrastructure was not made. And if you're following what's going on with AI requires a significant amount of infrastructure to do these very complex computing calculations required for AI. And Microsoft looked at that site and said, yep, this is going to be our flagship. This is where we're going to put our investment. So they've announced so far $3.3 billion, which will be over 2,000 permanent jobs. There will be thousands of construction workers out there for years. And just to have the largest company in the world, which is a very well-respected Microsoft, say, we are going to make our largest investment in company history outside of Washington in Wisconsin is just a huge high five to our state, our priorities, and why this is a great place to invest.
Another big company that I think about, Eli Lilly. Usually I think about Indianapolis and Indiana, but man, Eli Lilly making some big waves in Wisconsin this year too.
Well, it's another 2,000 construction jobs, about 1,000 permanent jobs. These are in the pharmaceutical industry, so this will be very high-paying jobs when they get those jobs going. But this was a huge win for MMAC M7 again. They purchased a company from Nexus Pharmaceuticals back in the day, and we got that company to move here. And now Eli Lilly purchased Nexus. And what this all comes back to is these weight loss drugs. These weight loss drugs are absolutely just a market within itself. I mean, I was just reading an article about Denmark. Denmark's economy is the fastest growing economy in Europe 2 years ago, and they had 3.6% growth. Of that 3.6% growth, 100% of that growth was due to this weight loss drug economy.
Oh, wow.
And now Eli Lilly's new drugs are overtaking their companies there. So this could be huge for our region. And just like Microsoft's largest investment in company history was outside of Washington here, this is Eli Lilly's largest investment ever outside of Indiana. So once again, Wisconsin won on this one. And, my motivation, we just talked about failure. One of my motivations is, can we create enough quantity and high-paying jobs to keep our kids here for the next generation and make sure that we're making enough money as adults right now to make sure that we can pay the bills? And these types of wins fuel our economy, and it's just great for this generation and the next as well.
Dale Koinge is the president of the MMAC. Another big deal here for the state of Wisconsin is that a number of agencies are going to share this $49 million in federal funding for medical sciences technology. Biotech Hub is being looked at now here in southeastern Wisconsin. So who will benefit the most, do you believe, from this, Dale?
Well, I think there'll be a lot of winners here. I mean, once again, it's the companies that are here. This is great for them. And we have GE Healthcare is on the forefront of artificial intelligence and medical technology and imaging. So that's a big win for them. Also, places like the Medical College of Wisconsin and Children's Hospital and all these companies that are in this corridor between Milwaukee and Madison. And there's a lot of exciting things here. I mean, first of all, the federal government set up these clusters with the recognition of this very interesting economic fact that clusters breed more economic activity. It's always interesting that if you want to do a burger joint, if you want to do a Five Guys, you want to put a Five Guys in close proximity to a Wendy's and a Burger King and a McDonald's, because there's that cluster effect of like, oh, that's the area associated with this. Now, this is at a macro scale. We're not talking about burgers. We're talking about 21st century technology that will save people's lives. And the federal government recognized this area, this Madison-Milwaukee corridor, as a place where we have a high propensity, a high density of jobs in this technology, biotech space. And so we were awarded money to take that to the next level. So this is a great bipartisan win. It was a win at the federal level, at the state level, and there was a great group of folks that got behind that, and we won. And we got that win. And so we'll see a lot more momentum in this Wisconsin biotech space in the years to come.
Dale, when we talk about wins and we talk about 2024, we have to go back to the summer and the Republican National Convention, the RNC, a huge win for Bruce City.
I mean, our city just showed so well. It showed so well, and I heard that from around the country. And when I travel now, I do a decent amount of traveling. Milwaukee's stock is rising, and there is a considerable amount of investment made by companies and others here to make sure that Milwaukee showed well. And the feedback was, what a remarkable city. And that showed on television, it showed on the internet, and most importantly, it showed for the thousands of people that came here and experienced our city. So huge shout out to a lot of different folks on this. I mean, this is a bipartisan win. And we had our county executives, David Crowley is a proud Democrat, Cavalier Johnson, the mayor of Milwaukee, the proud Democrat, and they were all behind this thing. Governor Evers is behind it as well. And equally excited about it and important was the legislature, guys like Robin Voss and Devin Lemmy. So just a win-win-win all around. And it's great to see. We've had some great wins the last 2 years where Republicans and Democrats have just rolled up their sleeves and say, yep, we got to work together. We have to work together. And what has come of that has just been remarkable for our region.
Dale, before we let you go, can you weigh in on this H-1B visas? These have been in the news here for the last several days on the eve of a new presidency, less than a month away from Donald Trump's inauguration. H-1B visas are in the news and a bit of controversy.
Well, it shouldn't be controversial. If you look at the facts is our economy requires immigrants. And so H-1B visas are a legal immigration program that allows folks with technology skills or high-demand skills that we need for our companies to thrive here, because we don't have the talent pool here for these individuals. And so one of the reasons that America keeps winning and our economy is growing faster than other economies throughout the world is because if you really have a head on your shoulders and you're in China or you're in other countries like that, you really want to come here, whether it be Western Europe or South America, everywhere around the world. If you have a head on your shoulders and you're like the best program, or if you're the best at biotech we just talked about, those folks want to come here. And there's a limited number of these H-1B visas. And so there's some Republicans right now say, yeah, we got to do more H-1B visas. And there's other Republicans who are just set on anti-immigration, which is not going to help our economy. So hopefully they could increase the number of H-1B visas. I mean, I know one of the people really close to Donald Trump right now is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is another immigrant that has come through our country and has created tremendous wealth. And our history as a country is just full of these Elon Musk stories of individuals that have come here and they've added to our economy, which actually adds to our national defense. So you should research Knudsen, what he did to GM during World War II. This is a rich history, and so hopefully Congress can get to a yes on this with the president and increase the number of H-1B visas.
Trump and Elon Musk have been so close lately, it kind of makes me wonder if they spent Christmas together.
Oh, they might have.
I didn't see it on social media, though, so I don't know.
I prefer my Christmas party over that one.
Dale Koinga joined us regularly here from the MMAC. He's the president of the MMAC. We always appreciate your time, Dale. Thanks so much. Have a great New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
1226 on WTMJ. News coming up.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring great tips on how to operate your home. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Flanders Home Entertainment ready to get you dialed in for whatever it is you like to do at your house. Movie night, watching the game, whatever it is. It's Flanders Home Entertainment. It is sound advice at the best price. The local experts at Flanders are ready to guide you through the process of a technology upgrade in your home. Maybe you just need the right cables or the right speakers for outdoor dining, for example. Flanders can help you big or small. They even take trades. If you got some old equipment at home, you can bring it into Flanders. Check out their showroom in West Allis, Grafton, and anytime online at Flanders.com. It's sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
What's on your wrist, Ben?
A watch.
The other wrist.
Oh, I'm handcuffed to a briefcase containing secret plans.
Why?
We can't let these secret plans fall into the wrong hands.
What secret plans?
This briefcase contains the specifications for the mother of all penny mustard bedroom collections.
The colonial bedroom?
Quiet, Nicole.
It's no secret the colonial bedroom is gorgeous.
American made with solid wood and forever tight bed brackets.
And the drawer bottom's strong enough to stand on.
Will you please keep it down?
In Penny Mustard's 3-decade existence, there's never been a bedroom more carefully constructed than the Colonial Collection.
Precisely why these trade secrets need to stay under wraps.
Heck no. We need to tell the world about the Colonial Bedroom.
You'd make a terrible spy, Arvid.
The Colonial Bedroom, starting at just $248 a month with only 1 penny down and no interest till January of 2028 through January 12th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true, but offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, December 30th. Your top story, a stern warning to Milwaukee gun owners.
I'm Jessica Ty. Checkmate for Chessgate.
Mixture of sun and clouds today, a high of 44 degrees, cloudy tonight. With a low of 33, clouds return on Tuesday, slight chance of maybe some rain and flurries, mainly to the south, and a high of 40 degrees, a high of just 30 degrees on Wednesday. 42 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:31. For the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, the Milwaukee Police Department warning gun owners not to fire their weapons into the air to ring in the new year. Assistant Chief Nicole Waldner, in a video posted to social media, says doing so is illegal.
MPD has a duty to respond to shots being fired, whatever the reason, as we would any other shots fired incident. When MPD responds, it is unknown to us if shots are being fired into the air or if an active shooter incident is taking place.
MPD says there were about 83 shots fired to kick off 2024.
A Milwaukee church remembering the victims of gun violence this year. At the Ephesians Missionary Baptist Church on Sunday, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson said gun violence is out of control.
We got to work
particularly with the young men in our lives, particularly with those young men, to tell them to put their guns down.
Johnson said guns are becoming a first resort to settle disputes. There have been 151 recorded homicides in the city so far in 2024.
More reminders for Milwaukee's city services over New Year's Day. The Department of Public Works reminding residents there will not be garbage and recycling pickup on January 1st. Collection days shift forward after each city holiday. There won't be parking meter or hourly restriction enforcement on Wednesday. There also will not be any overnight parking enforcement Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and then again Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but vehicles must still be parked legally. Night parking enforcement resumes Thursday night into Friday morning.
A scam text message is hitting cell phones across Milwaukee.
The phony text tells the recipient they have an overdue parking ticket and to click to avoid a late fee. Anyone clicking on the link could be opening their phone and data to either malware or ransomware. Alderman Lamont Westmoreland says the scam is likely hitting thousands of phones across the city. The alderman advises anyone who has provided their debit or credit card info to contact their financial institution immediately. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
And the world's top chess player is back in the game after a dispute over his pants.
Does being the king of chess mean that you can ditch the formal wear? Well, not if you're wearing jeans, according to the World Rapid and Blitz Chess Championships. Chess pro Magnus Carlsen was fined $200 for the casual look at the competition in New York last week. But after quitting the tournament on Friday in protest of the fine, chess officials relaxed the rules, now saying they'll accept elegant minor deviations from the dress code. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Can't even see the pants. You're sitting down, you're playing chess.
All of a sudden, I wanted to see the jeans because you can make jeans look nice these days. I mean, and it's not appropriate for every occasion. I'll give you that. His jeans were on the lighter side. I tend to think dark jeans look nicer.
But do you see him? You're sitting down playing chess.
Well, I see him right now, so other people could see him.
Did he have a nice top on? Is there a tie? Right?
I don't know. It almost kind of looks like, what do they call it when you're wearing jeans on the top and jeans on the bottom? It's a certain suit.
That's a
Canadian tuxedo.
Thank you, Gina.
It kind of looks like he's got that going on a little bit. But it was jeans on the bottom, and they look a little tight. Maybe a little too tight, too.
Well, fair. Maybe that should have been the fine. 12:34, sports, traffic, and weather are next. Static and limited WTMJ News Time, 12:34.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@wtmj.com. john.mercure@wtmj.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @wtmj.com.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers wrap up the regular season on Sunday against the Bears at Lambeau Field. They need a win and a Washington loss to Dallas to claim the number 6 seed in the NFC playoff race. As it stands right now, the Packers are the number 7 seed. Meanwhile, the Bucks wrap up the calendar year in Indianapolis with Tuesday afternoon basketball against the Pacers, a game you can hear right here on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We're still dealing with this crash. It's kind of the butt end of it over by Wisconsin State Fair Park. Taking a peek, I see right now. Whoop, yep. Okay, there we go. The cameras are being a little funky. Wisconsin 181 South at I-94 West. That's over by O'Connor Street. The right lane is blocked due to a crash there. But as I take a look at what's happening right now, I do see the tow truck just pulled up. They're getting one car on it right now. There's another car involved. And it looks like police have left the scene. So hopefully in the next 10 minutes or so, we'll get that cleaned up. But other than that, we're doing okay on the roads.
Mild temperatures today, a high of 44 degrees, plenty of sunshine, nice out. Overnight low of 33, back up to 40 tomorrow under cloudy skies. We drop off a bit on Wednesday with a high of 30, 29 the high on Thursday, just 24, and sunny on Friday. 46 degrees. And sunny in Milwaukee at 12:38.
In the midst of the holidays and 2 significant plane crashes, a story that's gotten buried a bit is the search resuming for missing flight MH370. The search is back on. This is a big deal. MH370 is the Malaysia Airlines plane that disappeared en route to Beijing from Kuala Lumpur back in 2014. 239 people were on board from more than a dozen countries. It is one of the biggest aviation mysteries in history. The founder of On Milwaukee, Andy Tarnoff, now runs the Deep Dive Podcast Network and just wrapped up a 31-episode podcast on the disappearance of MH370. He joins us live in the studio now with his take. And I was kind of curious, Andy, this is something I've thought to bring you on the show with for quite a while. And then, boom, here we have a reason to do so. But of all the things that you could take a deep dive into, and with your deep love of all things local, why did you want to do a podcast about this?
That's an awesome question, Jessica. You hit the midpoint of your career and you think, can I do something else? And I've always been a storyteller. I've always loved journalism, obviously local journalism through On Milwaukee, but my interest extends beyond that. And I like a good mystery. I like a good news story. And I don't know much about planes, or at least I didn't at that point, but I watched the Netflix documentary MH370, the plane that disappeared, and I had questions. It was only 3 hours long. I was like, there must be more to this. I remember it happening. So I reached out to some of the people who were in that documentary, and I said, hey, let's do a podcast. Let's do a video podcast. Let's do an audio podcast. And it took on a life of its own. It became a 31-episode season, which, by the way, is a pretty long podcast. It was like 6 months every single week. And I learned more than I could have ever possibly imagined about the intricacies of this mysterious plane crash. You called it one of the biggest airline mysteries ever. This is definitely the biggest of all time.
So where did it start? Right? You have questions coming out of that documentary. Some of the folks in the documentary agreed to spend time with you.
Yeah.
And you have to have a launch point, right? Because the age-old question is, well, what the heck happened to the plane?
Right.
And 31 episodes later, we're still wondering what happened to the plane.
And I don't think we're going to find out with this new search, to be honest with you. To me, the story wasn't so much about the technical, scientific, why couldn't they find this plane? It was about how to tell a story about a mystery. And the news, the Malaysian authorities, the Australians, because there were an awful lot of Australians on this flight, the French, they blew it. I mean, it was a reporting disaster because they were looking in the wrong place and they never asked the right questions. So to me, it was, how do you talk about a mystery? And then you start diving, pun intended, into the intricacies of the science, of the media, of the conspiracy theories, of the social media side of it. This is something that everybody, if you can remember 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago now, everybody had a vested interest in this thing. I mean, Courtney Love had joined the search. When Courtney Love
Wow, I don't remember that.
is looking on Google Maps and trying to find outlines of planes in the South China Sea. You've caught kind of the zeitgeist of a cultural phenomenon. And as I learned more about this, I realized that there are geopolitical implications of this. I mean, it may not be what everyone thinks it is. And the fact that they never found this plane, planes do not just disappear. You find stuff. You find things that float. You find pieces. And none of those things ever were found, which, makes you think maybe they were looking in the wrong place.
What were some of the myths that you were able to debunk?
Everything about this mystery is one of those things that it's like a Rorschach test. However you look at it, you can find your own truth in it. But one thing that we debunked, at least I thought we debunked, was that where they thought this plane was not where it was. And people really thought at the time that they blamed it on the pilot. They thought it was a pilot suicide. But never and pilots have taken down planes. That's happened. I mean, it happened in Egypt. It's happened a couple times. But never in the history of aviation has a pilot gone on a 6-hour suicide mission. I mean, typically, if you decide to commit suicide as a pilot, you crash the plane into the ocean. You don't just kind of go on a 6-hour joyride with all of your passengers being dead from hypoxia and lack of oxygen and then just gradually crash it into the sea. I think that was the easy answer that people wanted, and we were able to look at the satellite data and triangulate it with the routes and with the fuel on the plane, and realize that the searchers were looking in the wrong place. And by the way, they kept expanding and expanding and expanding to the point where they were searching an area the size of the entire United Kingdom. And they found nothing. So to us, it was like, maybe it didn't go there.
So Malaysia's government just tapped a private marine robotics company to resume the search for the missing flight. And basically, this is a fresh effort to resolve this big mystery. You said at the top, you don't think that's going to work.
No.
Why?
Well, first of all, this isn't the first time that this company, Ocean Infinity, has tried. And it's one of those like pay for play sort of things. Like they're like treasure hunters. Like if they find it, they get paid. If they don't find it, they don't get paid. And this isn't like Amelia Earhart, before they had the technology. I mean, this is ongoing. Like they have all sorts of like very fancy ocean floor scanning stuff, but they just keep expanding the search to places where the plane could not have gone based on the data that came out of that plane and from very, very smart scientists. I mean, the easy answer is like, well, maybe they didn't find it. Maybe it landed in or settled into some sort of like undersea canyon or something. But they've done all the stuff that you could have possibly done, and just moving the search and expanding it. I hope they find it. I hope it's there. I hope it's an easy answer. But after 31 episodes of the Deep Dive MH370 podcast, if you listen to it, I mean, you're going to think it's a little conspiracy theory, and it is. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but after a while, Occam's razor, are you familiar with that phrase? It means the most simple answer is usually the actual answer. It just doesn't fit on this one.
Do you believe that plane landed in a body of water after all of your findings and discussions?
Well, yeah, I'll just cut to the chase. I mean, our philosophy, our thinking is that it didn't, and that it was hijacked and it was taken north. And this was a power play by Vladimir Putin to steal a plane and prove to the world that he could do it. And, it's called asymmetrical warfare or hybrid warfare, because everyone says, well, why would he do that? We don't know. But why does Putin throw people out of windows? Why did he shoot down MH370's sister plane? I mean, that really happened. MH17 got shot down a few months later, and people were like sentenced at The Hague for this. This is the kind of stuff that happens in this new Cold War. So I don't think I don't know if it landed. I don't know if it crashed, but I don't think it went south like everyone thinks it did.
Fascinating. Well, it gives people a reason to check out the Deep Dive podcast, these 31 episodes. How can people go about finding it?
So this is part of the entire Deep Dive podcast network, and you can search for it on YouTube. I mean, there's audio versions of it, but the video stuff is more interesting because it has graphics and video and maps and stuff. And this is just one of the several podcasts that I have created. The Deep Dive Podcast Network is on YouTube. You can follow it on social with Deep Dive Podcasts. Some of the new stuff because this one ended, like 6 months ago. I burned this one out. I have nothing else to say about MH370, but I've taken it in some new directions. I was on my drive in. I was listening to the bumper music, and you guys were playing a song by the Dandy Warhols, which is my favorite band. And one of the podcasts we're doing is called Deep Dive Wine Acoustics, where I do a podcast with the lead singer of the Dandy Warhols, where he's a wine expert. So we talk about drinking wine and rock and roll. One of them is about...
Cheers to that.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Theme song for Wisconsin's Midday News.
Exactly. And one of them is one that we just launched is with our friend Carol Kane. It's called Celebrity Adjacent, where we talk about our mutual celebrity encounters. We just did one about Robin Yount, who was on this show not that long ago. So there is all sorts of stuff happening in this network, and I'm having a great time with it, guys. You guys should be on it.
Well, that's so fun. I have to ask, though, because I know a little bit about this, but I really haven't seen you discuss it much. You have stepped back from On Milwaukee, which you founded.
I have. I mean, like I said, this kind of midlife opportunity, as I'm calling it, not a midlife crisis. If you take something as far as you can, and you've done this, Jessica, you've been on TV, and
once or twice.
At a certain point, you're like, I want to try something else. So I'm still an owner of it. I'm still the founder. It's doing great. But now I have a chance to expand my communications, whether it be through consulting or storytelling through these podcasts, to do something that's bigger than Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee, but I love other things too.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that, because I remember years ago you were looking to do something to expand, even On Milwaukee, to look at doing On Milwaukee in other cities, and
Right.
could you expand that brand? So I know you've been thinking about doing something even bigger for a long time now.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I mean, it's scary to do something after you've done the same thing for 26 years, and but it's fun. And all these contacts and experiences and relationships that I've built in this amazing city since 1998, they apply to other things as well. So I'm having a great time with it.
And Greg's a celebrity as well. Because, what was that show you won back in the day?
Oh, I know.
Oh, you're talking about the greatest reality TV show of all time.
It comes
Beck,
up
Barlow,
like
and Deal 2.
every other week.
That was the first time I interviewed you.
Was it really the first
that's
time?
right. We went out. I don't remember where we went. We went to maybe it was just like a McGillicuddy's or something like that. We had like kind of a lunch meeting and hung out.
We go way back, Greg.
We definitely
and Jessica,
do.
we go way back.
Yeah,
I mean, not as far as Greg and I do.
Okay,
But,
yeah. I
but
wasn't in town yet when you guys were starting your thing.
But we've all known each other for a long time, and some of these stories they work locally, and they work nationally. They work internationally. One of the cool things about this Deep Dive MH370 podcast is most of the listeners and viewers are coming from Australia, are coming from France.
Wow!
I mean, this is a cool story in the United States, but there weren't any American passengers on it. But in Australia, this is a big deal. I mean, they spent like $200 million on this, and there are a lot of people whose loved ones disappeared without a trace and don't have any answers.
Well, and it's a story that just hits everyone, because you're like, how the heck did this happen? Where did this plane go?
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Planes do not disappear, and if they find this thing, awesome. I don't think they will.
Andy Tarnoff, we appreciate it. Founder of On Milwaukee, now running the Deep Dive Podcast Network.
Thanks so much.
Sounding a little bit to WTMJ News Time is 12:51.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With colder weather in the forecast and no festivals to attend, our showroom is a year-round festival the whole family will enjoy. Read our reviews. Our store has it all, including the finest lighting and ceiling fans available, such as Visual Comfort, Hubbardton, Tech, and hundreds more at unbeatable prices. I guarantee it. If it's repairs or lampshades you need, we have all that too. There's also unique sports and historical items neon lights, slot machines, and much more for sale. You'll find fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Saturday and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue near Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Hurry into Shopko Optical before your vision benefits expire. Vince Vitrano here. Book your eye exam and purchase frames, contact lenses, and more from a professional team that provides quality eye care, comprehensive and personalized to you. With an expansive network of insurance providers, Shopko Optical will walk you through all of your options. You'll maximize your vision benefits and FSA dollars before the end of the year. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your visit today.
The holiday season is a magical time of year to visit Lake Geneva. Embark on an enchanting Santa cruise on the lake. Take in a parade of trees and marvel at the world's tallest glass tree, built before your very eyes. Enjoy holiday shopping in a historic downtown. Chill out with festive food and libations in an igloo under the stars. Or find adventure on a zipline, ski hill, or snow-covered nature trail. Make Lake Geneva your place for holiday fun this year. Check out visitlakegeneva.com today for all the festive details.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
From Taylor Swift and Beyonce to the downfall of Diddy, the year in entertainment had huge highs and deep lows. Here's a look back at 2024.
Taylor Swift's Eras Tour transformed the star into a musical and monetary deity, but she couldn't top the Queen Bee.
Nominate all the cowboys to the dance floor.
Billboard named Beyonce the greatest pop star of the 21st century. Another black artist, Shabuzi, had nearly 1 billion Spotify streams with his country hit. A hip-hop mogul went to jail.
Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show.
Sean Combs indicted on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. At the movies, Liquid didn't quite reach Barbenheimer heights.
The arena turned slaves into gladiators.
Shogun led streaming series.
Hear me, my son.
With 18 Emmy Awards, and fans were crushed by the death of One Direction's Liam Payne.
Seems to me that when I die, these words will be written on my stone.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
One of the names that stands out there is a bunch, right? There's a bunch as you go back through the year in entertainment. But Shabuzi, right? He's become kind of a cult phenomenon. All right, so this is Shabuzi. He had a wonderful 2024. He, in May, is going to headline the 2025 Scripps National Spelling Bee halftime show.
Oh, really?
That's right, Shabuzi, Shaboozey. Shabuzi, whose hit, a bar song, Tipsy, will no doubt be confusing to the 245 spellers ranging in ages 8 to 15. Yeah, that's one of the headline lines. Getting drunk at 10 a.m. There you go. Parents are going to lose it, though. They're going to love this.
I didn't even realize that the Scripps National Spelling Bee had a halftime show.
Well done, Jessica. Neither did I. But what better way to take a break from watching the future of our nation flex on stage and compete for scholarships than listening to some guy getting blasted about Jack Daniels?
Well, he's not going to sing this song, right?
I don't know. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't? This is why he is on the show.
Yeah, but that does feel wrong.
Just seemed a bit odd to me. I have many questions.
But it's a very catchy tune.
12:56 in WTMJ. News is next. If you missed our show, Gina does a great job podcasting it. Check out the WMDN podcast page, Wisconsin's Midday News. I think I added a W there. It is online for you to consume, presented by our friends at Siding Unlimited. Take us with you wherever you go. News is next.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly